You're safer here than anyplace else.
A tumor at all, but a new growth, a growth of a new organ in my head. That's talking about the pineal gland. He said, and I suspect that this new organ is giving me these visions will, in fact, become reality, and the reality, as I know, will become an illusion. Because the organ is giving him these illusions. But he said, as he go on, the organ will become the reality. This new growth in his head, which is this new organ, was dormant, is now growing. And said, what is now an illusion will become a reality, and what is a reality will become an illusion. He said, after all, in reality, what we perceive it to be anyway, only your perceptions and things. The same thing what I say right now, if I come and curse you out, and there's only one curse word, I curse you out, and you get all mad, be crying and shit. And yet I didn't say the word damn, and the only curse word that we know is damn. And then you have to literally use it in the context of cursing somebody, in the original context of what it was mean to damn somebody. But not just to say the word damn. But isn't it funny that the word that is the only curse word is the one that people get the least offended by? That lets you know that's a form of the same mind control. Programming. You see what I'm saying? A programming. But the movie Videodrome deals with that particular thing. But this particular part here, let's see if I can, let's see if I can do the right thing to get it. See what happened. Knob came off on this thing, but y'all all right? Is this interesting?
Yes.
I don't want to bore you. What I'm trying to say is see, you got to understand, white people have been having these discussions for years. These rich white people, and this is what they do. They don't have no building. They have a big ass mansion, can hold about 200-300 people. And I used to notice this thing too. I used to notice this. We used to laugh at this. My mama used to say, and that's the way white people party. They just have some music going, piano, some drinks, and they have a whole lot of discussion. And that used to be their party. No dancing at all. And we used to think that shit was funny. But in actuality, that's the way you get into certain realities of your intellect. Is your party is a discussion. Is that your party is a discussion that is furthering your intellect. Well, I'll figure it out in a minute. Hold on 1 minute. Got this light back on. I'll just show it. As long as I put it on the camera. You all been hip to the Kabbalah, the tree of life. You've seen it before. In this middle sphere is Doth. Also, you know, Doth is the sphere on where the third eye is, or melanin. But Doth is also known as death. As a matter of fact, probably the word Doth, or dot, which is the black dot, is probably a primal word for the word death. So when I say this word death, what I'm talking about is the essence of that particular melanin is what we call death. It's just that you think of death as something else because you're on this side and all the, you know. But what we call death is in actuality an essence and an entity or an energy known as the angel of death. Now, but it's interesting, the angel of death in Egypt, which is, angel of death is Satan in Hebrew, which is a later version. The same angel of death in Hemmitt is Osiris. But Osiris is also represented as the deepest part of our subconscious and our soul. So Satan and death, which just so happen to be in Egypt, our soul, is what our soul is. It is the prior of the world in which this particular world is covered over and come into being. So therefore, going back to this thing again, you must understand that thinking like a human or any type of way that you think is divine that you have been taught ain't gonna cut it. Now, let me show you. I want to show you something here based on the powers of chaos. Because they got law in this particular Elric series. They got law, but I want to show you something. I want to read something to you. The cults and the gods. I want to read something to you. Y'all bear with me. 1 minute. If I can't find it, it might be in Melvin Bonet, but I got one little page left to turn. Yeah. Okay, law and chaos. The battle between law and chaos is a long-lasting theme in Michael Moorcock's writings. It says that the balance swings sometimes the law, and law just means the physical laws of the universe, and sometimes the balance swings to chaos. In this particular case, in this time and cycle, it's swinging to chaos, but this particular chaos will not give rise to another breakdown of a mutation. Because the same mutant down here is the same thing that happened as above, so below, that happened in the universe. You got the mutant, which is the white boy, or a mutation. No, don't even put him in anything. Let's just put a mutation in natural law. They have a mutation with a gene mutate, an albino. Well, in actuality, that's what happened with the universe. It was the uncreated, mutated, and brought on a mutant creation, which we call creation. You see what I'm saying? Which we call creation. And just like any mutant, it's only there for a small limit of time, although it seems like a couple of billion years to you. It's only there a small limit, which means it's not going to be there for eternity. You see what I'm saying? So now, let me go on. I want to say, I want to show you something here. The balance between chaos and whatever, solid chaos. There's a point in here where they say that the Melvin Bonet, which is the pre-human kingdoms, used to worship chaos. They say, well, they used to worship chaos, and how can anybody worship chaos? They say this is hard for a human to understand. Whether human life is all based on, his entire life is based on a structure of laws that is relevant to the physical. But because the gods of Melvin Bonet, or the entities of Melvin Bonet, do not have physical body, you understand what I'm saying? Then chaos will be something totally different in them than what it would be to a human. Because a human understands that chaos is detrimental to his own fiber and being because he's in the physical realm. In this case, we're trapped in a jailhouse and started thinking that this shit is divine and we're supposed to be this way. You see? Whereas to a God outside of the physical realm that does not have the physical realm to measure it by, it would literally be the ultimate reality anyway. You get where I'm coming from here? So therefore, that's what we have to revert to be, is somehow get a grasp on the understanding of just what I'm talking about in your mind. You see what I'm saying? Now, in the story, to go on, in the Rig Veda, there's a story based on Rudra. Now, Rudra is nothing but Osiris in the Rig Veda in the Indian text. He's also Dionysus in the Greek thing. Here's a good book on Dionysus, which they said that the text, the worship of Dionysus, which is a Greek god, is this cult that worship Dionysus is foreign to Greece. It came into Greece. Some trace it back to Rudra in India, but also to Dionysus is also identical to Osiris. You see, there's two books. There's a real one that this guy, his name is Carini, and he has one, and he's dealing with more of a social element of Greece and showing all this pottery. But this one deals with the myth more down to it. The one by Walter F. Otto, O-T-T-O, Walter F. Otto, Dionysus, D-I-O-N-Y-S-U-S, Myth and Cult. This is the Greek. So why do you want to give us this particular aspects of Osiris if we already got Osiris? The Osirian drama of the Osiris and Hemmitt, to try to understand the nature of this particular part, of this particular god, they only give you one aspect, and we only get one aspect to come down to us, and that's Plutarch's translation of it, which is the Greek writer who translated the actual part, which was given to him by the Egyptian sages. The other aspect is coming off of the papyrus, but more of it is more of the funerary rites of him descending into the underworld, or him laying there, and some of it is ritual and stuff, but we don't get the true essence on what this shit is talking about. So sometimes you have to go outside of the actual culture to get a true essence on what is the nature of this particular god. In this case, it's Rudra. In India, it's Dionysus or Dionysus in Greece. So I say, to get a greater understanding on Osiris outside of the ritualistic text in Egypt, is the only one they give us, you need to go and get Dionysus or get Rudra. And in here, what it is I'll give you the aspect of the Greek Dionysus. He's born of an earthly mother, and Zeus is his father. But on the other hand, his symbol is also a mask. He puts on different illusionary forms of mask, which means he only puts on these masks because he understands when he comes in contact with the human, because he's such an advanced entity, so the human mind can't come in contact with advanced cosmic forces, in this case advanced chaotic forces. So it has to be filtered down into the aspect on where the human can accept it. And basically the God forms that we have, and I told you the last time, are myths contrived to protect our sanity. In other words, it's much more monstrous and chaotic on what we're dealing with here. I'll give you 3 versions of it. So he becomes the gods of the mask, but then again, we understand that masks are fundamental to Africa. So you'll know that this Dionysus gets his start. Although they tell you he lines up with Osiris, he also gets his start as an African symbol of God. He's also a god of pandemonium, which is chaos, and also silence, which represents something outside of the physical also too. He's also is a part of the world of the bewitched, which is talking about like a world, a bohemian world that does not necessarily coincide with the physical laws or the spiritual laws of what we know of God that's supposed to be all divine and loving. He's a god of somber madness. He enjoys making the people who come in contact with him mad, crazy. Yeah. Because the madness and the craziness also symbolizes something outside of the routine level of this physical reality. See what I'm saying? Yeah. He's a god of wine and intoxication, which is also represents melanin in India, because Rudra is also a god of Sama, and Sama is the Indian word for melanin. So he's a god of the vine, the grapevine, but also in Jesus, a god of the wine. You see where some of these concepts come from, even in the Christ myth or the Jesus myth. You see what I'm saying? He's a god of moisture. So there go that water thing also again. You see what I'm saying? He's also in his entire existence. While he is existing in this particular plane or on other dimensions, he's always surrounded by women. The women, he comes in as a baby with these women nursing him. He's the god that sets over orgies. He's the god that sets over all types of sexual practices. Also Rudra does too. But he always is around women. That means, why is he always around women? He's not a patriarchal god, he's a matriarchal god, and the women, this is their son that they're bringing to the world. So this is the son of the mother and the matriarchal realm other than the son of the father.
Well, she's a physical.
Now this is our true nature. In so many words, when you break it down, Rudra and Dionysus is the pineal gland. But this is the god of the woman. Remember I told you it resembles more of a clitoris in the brain than it does the elongated penis.
Yeah.
But he's the god of the woman, which means this is the son of the great mother. But it's not talking about the abortion son. This is the son that she sends to clean up that abortion. You see? Huh? Alistair Crawley? No, this is Oto. This is the guy's name. This is not the OTO. That's a different aspect. But he would be a form of AWAS in that particular part. So now, this Dionysus story. Now the Rudra story is basically they had in the beginning they had the uncreate, which is the uncreate of the fullness of the uncreate. Because you only have taught creation, you think that the uncreation is nothing, which is something in itself. It's just that you can't perceive of it because you gotta see something or experience something, what this world only told you, which is reality.
This is the reference.
Yeah, this is the reference, so therefore we don't see nothing in that. But the uncreate is the fullness, which means everything that is supposed to be in the universe is already there.
Yeah.
Now there's two aspects of that. Maybe there's two aspects of that. Maybe it was actually a mistake or a flaw that led to the creation, or maybe the flaw itself was a form of the uncreate to go to another level. Maybe it wanted to, although it was perfection, it wanted to perfect perfection. And how do you perfect perfection? You put a flaw. If you got wine, which in so many words, no, you got juice, which in so many words is just as perfect as anything in the universe, is perfect. But to change that juice, it's got to ferment. That's the only stage that juice can do to become another substance is it has to ferment. Just another process. And basically, this is the fermentation process in which we do. And that's why he's also the god of the wine. So Rudra, the story is you have the uncreate. This god, Pastor Johnny, he's Indra, he's Brahma, breaks loose, has a daughter, screws his daughter, the daughter gets pregnant, an incestual act, and the whole thing comes into the creation of the universe. Rudra, which is the son of the mother, comes down and falls down here to kill his ass. And this punk god, the same Yahweh you think is all beautiful and all omnipotent and all powerful, do you know that you get the earlier things of the same God, Yahweh, or Jehovah, or any of this man, do you know that motherfucker begged for his life?
Big.
He begged like a baby for Rudra to spare his life. That same bitch up there that you worshiping. Now meanwhile, Rudra is your actual energy. You getting this stuff?
Yeah.
So do you understand that your actual energy, when it first confronted this abortion, this same abortion, big like a damn baby, to spare its life, the concept is in the mythology, Rudra understands to prevent this from happening again, he must fall and become a part of Pastor Johnny's creation. You understand what I'm saying? To kill it from the inside out so it won't happen again. So Rudra literally becomes what we have been going through. You see?
It has let it play itself out.
Let it play itself out. Let it run its course. In so much of it run its course and I'm trapped inside of it, I become the ultimate reality, because what I was that was strong enough to him to beg his life, can you imagine what's going to happen when I become even stronger by being encased in something condensed chaos?
Ain't no contest.
Hey, right? You see what I'm saying? So now, It's just a matter of waking up.
Yeah.
So, in the concept, or in the context, everything that's in the world happens after that. In the end, he's now Shiva. Shiva and Rudra is one and the same. Shiva forms a pillar, Setanu, which is a stone pillar or a penis, which is the pineal. And in so many words, what he does is he literally sucks Rudra's world into its pineal and he destroys it. Let me give you an example. Go get the movie, give you an example. Let's go get the movie, the one that Charlie Sheen was in, The Arrival. You remember they had that little ball, they put it in the damn room, little ball, and it started turning around and it sucked up the whole room? That's what your pineal gland is going to do. Yes. But the energy that it has to use to do that is the energy of your ancestors in so many incarnations being able to break away from the body, and each person that dies, that's the original soul, it gains up enough rotation and a spin as a vortex to suck it in. So it is the ultimate microcosmic black hole that is the same macrocosmic black hole that you are seeing in the illusionary universe. Yeah. And that's what this pineal energy, throw in some fucking fire from the Kundalini and all this shit is. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? That's what this particular Rudra and this whole concept is doing. And also, he's also connected with Orion and Sirius in the Rudra material and Dionysus material in this particular Rig Veda and all this. He's also connected with Orion and Sirius, so we're also talking about the same Osiris energy that ferments. Y'all getting this, or is this too?
No, that's good.
You get, you know, because it gets even worse than that. Huh?
You all right? Go ahead.
It gets even worse than that when we, because tomorrow we got to go into these, into these no good ass gods. It's some other stuff we have to deal with also too. We have to deal with also too. But let me go to some of these notes and stuff, because I want to get some stuff out that I want to talk about also too. Y'all all right now? All right? Okay. Now I want to deal with some stuff here. Let's see here. The obelisk, which we thought was Osiris' penis, is actually representing the pineal gland. You see what I'm saying? Because number one, it's sticking upright. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? It's sticking upright. Let me show you another aspect of this thing. Look at this. You have your Star of David. You have your Star of David. Doing sex, this would be the head of the penis. Mm-hmm. The woman's pubic hair also is the the upside down triangle. You get the science? Yeah. It's also shaped like a pyramid going down, and his penis is shaped like a pyramid going up, as above, so below. And this is also a form of the same aspect also too. Of these particular, what the Star of David, which is also, that's what it was later named. These things is like the Star and the Crescent are older aspects of it. Now it's interesting because there's a book called, there's a good book that I want you to get. This is probably one of the best psychiatrists or psychologists living. This book is called Dreams in the Underworld by James Hillman. This is probably one of his best, he's got several books out, but this one is probably one of his best monumental works. And he's like a Jungian psychologist, but he's later, so therefore he's advanced the work, but there's a whole lot of stuff up in here. But even in here, he's going by another guy named Carina, and so now Dionysus is Osiris. Okay? But in here, he's even drawing the parallel in Dreams in the Underworld that Dionysus, which is Osiris, and Hades, what you call hell, is one and the same. You see? The Lord of the Underworld is otherwise known also as Hades, which was called the keeper of the gates and the closer of the gates. according to the legend of the bringing up of Semele from the underworld, and Dionysus descended hither to learn. I'm going to get to the particular part. And he also brings up his mother. In so many words, it also says he's going to break down in here, he's going to break down Hades up in here. And when he breaks down Hades, it's going to be just the same as he's going to make the breakdown of Hades and Dionysus, and it's going to be the same, which is also Osiris. He's also going to break down a section in here called on black. And he also says that mainly in white people's dreams, because they do have a residue of melanin, the villains that they see in their dreams, and they got it recorded from the Dark Ages on up, the villains that they mainly see in their dreams is black people. So therefore, when they wake up, when they come in contact with you, they automatically treat you like a villain, because subconsciously they've seen it also in their dreams, because it's haunting them. You see, because it's a psychological aspect. Now it's interesting because in the book, the guy Richard Cavendish, he put out the black arts that you can still get. But he put out another book in 1990, Black Arts in 71, which is 68. And he put out a book in 1975 called The Powers of Evil. And in that particular book, he explained on the white boy throughout the Dark Ages, seeing the white boy throughout the Dark Ages, in his mind, the devil was always depicted as black people. You see, and they got several paintings of the black man being the devil. Even when you go get the movie, if you go get the movie, Which We Are, if you understand what that shit really means. If you go get the movie Clash of the Titans, and you'll see that the enemy up in there is Calibus. If you look at Calibus real good, he got nappy hair. But in the book, he's explained how the white boy, throughout all his visions, when he thinks of his enemy or the devil or what frightens him, it's only what frightens him. His visions always became the black man. He talked about the hideous Ethiopian and all this particular stuff. When he saw these devils from far, when they got up on him, they were black people, and it was just as terrifying. Yeah, yeah. And so they see these particular black people in his book, and I think this is what got the book banned to the point where they don't print it no more. They just tell him, sometimes these book companies will say, here's $2 million. That's what you would have made if the book would have in 35 years of it selling. Here's $2 million. Take it out of circulation. So when you don't see books ever again, and he could make this money, that's because somebody that came in and paid him money to take the book out of circulation. So, but on the second page, when he gives the conclusion of why all these white people throughout history see black people in their dreams as well as being the devil or as equated to monsters, he also says that it has something to do with the alchemical process of the white mind, and basically, in so many words, it has something to do with the pineal shit is atrophied or whatever, or being calcified. But even what's the name talks about that when they tap into certain aspects of their own being, they start hearing voices and call it the devil. And obviously Richard King, who mentioned that in several of his lectures, when he was studying all that stuff on the pineal glands in these mostly on the collegiate library shelves, he must have was getting that a lot. Based on the case studies when they give all this stuff. He must have was getting that a lot. Because also there's a book called Liquid Dreams of Vampires that's out. And basically it's a psychological book on all these white people that always dream of Dracula. You see them, they always dream of Dracula. And they studied this thing in vampire studies that there's thousands of them that identify with Dracula and all this because they've been getting it from their dreams within so many words. What they don't say in the book, when you put two and two together, the book Liquid Dreams of Vampires, What they don't say is basically they're dreaming of the same black people that come out as Dracula too. Because you know he wears the black cape and all this kind of thing here and all, you know. And he's hell with the damn women and shit. You know what I'm saying? Just like the sensuous black man or whatever the deal is, you know. And stuff, you know. Like Rudy Ray Moore says, the sensuous black man and the most fuckingest motherfucker on the earth. And but my point is we're dealing with psychology here, so y'all gotta grow up now. Basically, that's the whole thing that they're dealing with also too. You know, ultimately too. So this book deals with a lot of that, dreams in the underworld. And so much because also the underworld is also symbolic of melanin. That's what it is. Now, dreams in the underworld, because also Richard King also talked about that the underworld, that melanin is always connected with dreams. Now, in the Cthulhu mythos, which you go get any of the Del Rey books and you can get the best of H.P. Lovecraft volume. There's 6 volumes of the best of H.P. Lovecraft. Which is H.P. Lovecraft basically is a group of monsters that's supposed to take over the world. Let me read some of this so I can get you into this. In so many words, this is what's going to happen other than the religion. The religion that we hear all this shit that's happening, in so many words, is thousands of years of trying to weave it into the human condition so we can have some type of earthly experience on how the whole rapture thing is supposed to happen. You understand what I'm saying? But on the other hand, this particular way is the way it was prior to we weaving the human condition into it on what used to happen. So to get a synopsis of that, I want you to get the best of H.P. Lovecraft, Del Rey books. Del Rey books. There's about 3 volumes. They got little small books. They sell the little small books, but if there's about 3 or 4 volumes where they took all the small books and put them in 2 and 3 volumes. There's about 3 or 4 volumes where you can get it all. I want you to get the whole thing, but I want you to get his actual stories, because he had a whole bunch of dreams on how this thing was supposed to go down.
That's Lovecraft?
H.P. Lovecraft. He had a whole bunch of dreams on how this thing was supposed to go down. And he wrote the Cthulhu mythos in the early 20s. I think he died in like 1937. Mm-hmm. And on how he died, he came down with brain cancer because he was recording this stuff, and these actually, our energy, which is these pre-human monsters, came and they channeled to him. Now this is the interesting part about it. This is how you know it's real. So there have been debates on whether his stuff was fiction or real. Well, first of all, this is how you know the stuff is real. Number one, he was a known racist. And yet he talks about these pre-human, ultra supernatural forces and these beings that used to rule the earth before man came. In this case, before we fell into man. But yet, his chief messenger from these outside forces that used to rule the universe, the chief messenger in the human form is a black man coming from a known racist. See, psychologically, a known racist would not put the only human aspect of his great pantheon of super cosmic beings that's supposed to be more superior than white people, period. And he thought that the British was the ultimate. And more superior than the British, the only link would be a black man. When we know that shit, it ain't nothing for them, all their heroes are white. That means that he had to be telling the truth. See where I'm coming from? Because a racist would never take the mythology that's going to make him famous, and did make him famous. And the chief human figure as the hero, which is connected to the outside forces, to be a black man, the black pharaoh, or the black man. That means that what he was getting was real. It just so happens that over the course of him channeling this information, he got tired of it and decided he wasn't going to do it anymore. He quit writing, and the energies inside of him developed into a brain tumor and killed him. So he died fairly young. Now, I want to get into Cthulhu, which is nothing but the pure melanin on the inside of you, which is this particular entity, which the sister was saying, I'm trying to get some of this stuff that you're talking about. Well, there's mythology to try to make you understand. You just go and read H.P. Lovecraft and identify with them damn monsters they got up in there. You are a monster. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, that means that you ain't got time for no being obedient and all this kind of thing and sin. What the fuck a monster give a damn about sinning and shit? It's a goddamn monster. You know what I'm saying? But that's what your soul is, the monstrous soul. Hey, you give a damn about whether you sin somebody or who you screwed and whether you drank some wine or whether you dance to some music that ain't gospel, and you a fucking monster. You a damn monster and you worried about some fucking what's that old nigga that's jumping around for church's chicken and stuff on? Kirk Franklin and T.E. Jakes and all that shit, and you a damn monster. You know what I'm saying? Right. You want to bite the heads off of biddies and babies and stuff, and you talking about some sinning and stuff. So this is the concept on what I'm trying to get you to understand. You got to identify what your soul is. And this Cthulhu mythos, and let me explain something to you. To let you in on what the secret societies of the Illuminati has been studying, they have been studying this. As a matter of fact, since his death, there's over maybe 10,000 volumes of bibliography and so-called mythology and stories written on the Cthulhu myth, yet it don't supposed to be real. Now what kind of damn people would spend 50 to 60 years in developing a mythology that's supposed to be fake? They understand that one man's reality is another man's illusion, and